I don't go looking for random problems to turn them into products. Try to solve my own problems first because I am the best test subject that I have. I know exactly where the friction is, and I can break that friction into layers until I understand what actually needs to be built. At least that's how I go about building applications. Today, we're going to go ahead and build an application from scratch using Codex. And I'm going to use myself as a test subject. Here's the problem. I want to build a drone, but I don't know how. Yeah, I could watch 7, 8 YouTube videos and keep pushing and keep rewinding the iPad next to me and next to the bench and just try to copy everything step by step. But that is a bad learning experience. I don't think it yields the results that I actually want. So I'm following instructions, not actually understanding the build, right? So what I want instead is something that guides me while I build step by step on the bench, explaining what each part does, where it goes, and why it matters. And in this video, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I take the pain point, turn it into a PRD, and then break that PRD into lenses. I call it lenses. Fancy. And then I build the app in plain English with AI. That's it. No complications, no dashboard, no 1,000 swarm, not CRM, none of that. We're going to build something practical from scratch, from zero, complete zero, okay? So follow me. I'm going to go ahead and use Excalidraw to explain a little bit. Here is me. This is me. I am the test subject. Hey, I want to make an app. Yay. I want to build a drone from scratch, but I don't want to watch videos. Let's create an application that teaches me how to build a drone from scratch step by step. I'm eliminating one friction point. I don't have to spend thousands of hours watching videos. Here is how I build things. To me, it's very important that you have a very solid PRD. PRD means product requirement document. I'm going to be very oversimplification of things. So let's say you have, let's use my phone. All right, you have a list, a recipe, right? And you want to cook a taco salad, and you're looking at the recipes, right? And then the list of recipes or the recipe itself is telling you how to cook the meat, how to prepare the lettuce, the tomatoes, the avocado, whatever, listed. Imagine that when you're going to build an app, you're looking at a recipe. That is the PRD. In the PRD, you put there, what is the problem? What is the friction you're trying to solve? What's the market think about it? How would you think that the market will react to your application? At least that's the way I do it. I devised a system that I call it lenses, and it's right here. It's called, I have the market lens, problem lens, user lens, vision lens, boundary lens, and build lens. It'll make sense when I start showing you how I do it, but do not get too lost or try to complicate things or try to explain it too much. Remember, these models, especially the one that I'm going to use, which is Codex GPT 5.5, it's very capable. I'm not going to say that it thinks. I'm not going to say that it knows. It's capable. It knows. It has the capabilities that it possesses are strong and very useful. So here is the application here, and I always build in layers. I show the model how I want the app to look like, and under that, we create the engine, the mechanism, how it's going to work. Is it going to have a database? Is it going to be some kind of messaging app? Is it going to use APIs? It's going to be all of that. I build it in layers, and I recommend you. Obviously, you probably know better ways than me, and I wish to learn from you then. But that's the way I've been doing things. And what I do is I separate each element of that application in layers, lenses. So let's go ahead and immediately start from scratch. You're going to need a repo. Oversimplification again is like saving your work online in a closed environment that is protected. And that way, when you upload it to a repository, you can open any other computers and pull from that repository and install or continue building your app from whatever computer that you choose. Oversimplification, there's probably better explanation of what GitHub is, but that's the way I see it. So you create a folder in your computer and you name it, at least that's how I work. You name it just like the way you name it on GitHub, online in your logo, right? And I sync them. The one here has the same name and it's the same idea, but it's protected and it's saved up here. And here is in your PC. You control it. You build here, and whatever it is that you build, any updates, any fixes, all of that, from there, after you do it, you commit and then you push. And that's basically how I see it. It's super simple. So let's go first for, I already created a folder, but I'm going to create it again for you. Here, let's go ahead and create a new folder in the computer, and we folder, and we're going to name it just like the app. We're going to name the app Dronecraft Workbench. Dronecraft Workbench. Okay, let's go ahead and open the folder, leave it like here. And we're going to go ahead and open GitHub, and we are going to create the new repository there. So GitHub, where are you? Let's go to GitHub and let's go to the repositories, and we're going to click on new right here, and we're going to name it Dronecraft Workbench. Dronecraft Workbench. I'm kind of blind. Here it is. Usually there's a process for this. People read me, git ignore, all of that. Don't worry about it. The model will do it for you. Again, this is my way of doing things. You probably have a better way to do it, more secure. I don't know. I'm just teaching or giving ideas to whoever needs it. So create the repository. Now we have the repo. The repo is ready, and we got the folder. Now we're going to go ahead and start the fun stuff. Let's open Codex. Let's open a new chat. Let's choose down here. In this, we're going to choose add a new project. We're going to choose the folder that we just created, Dronecraft Workbench. Select folder. Now Codex is here waiting, brand new. You got the repo. You got Codex pointed at the folder. Let's go ahead and begin. Easy. Plain English. Don't overcomplicate it. Yes, there are many fancy ways of doing this. You creating an agents.md. You will, as you build, you will gain a lot of insight and learn. The model can teach you itself. That is the fun part. But I'm going to go very provincial. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's start by telling the model what are we going to do. Let's go ahead and say, hello. Wait, Kimosabi. I call them legend, Kimosabi, bro. I'm so stupid. All right. Let me use the voice. I don't want you to see me typing like a Neanderthal, okay? So I'm going to use a software called Whisper. I am going to attempt to build an application that is meant to build drones from scratch. I'm going to bring you a PRD with plenty of descriptions and instructions that elaborate how I want to build this application and how I want it to look like and how I want it to feel like. There's a text, and here's a little hack. Probably you know this, but I usually get inspiration online of how I want my application to look like. Yes, you could sit down and do some brainstorming and maybe close your eyes and then, like you're looking at this software right now. I want my app to have this side panel, and I want my app to be able to create a new chat, and I want my app to have a profile, and I want my app. See, all of that, if you sit down and write it down in plain English, you don't have to try to reinvent the wheel or split the atom. None of that. Plain English, concise, be honest with yourself. If you don't know, you don't know. Doesn't matter, because the model is going to help you reach the point that you feel satisfied. You're going to say, you know what? That is exactly what I had in mind. So here I gave him some instructions, and here's one of the hacks that I was about to mention, and I got derailed. There is this app called, I believe it's called With Diode. Let me see where I put it, which they changed it to, it was free for the longest time, and now they changed it to Tinkerer or something like that. It's really cool. So I'm going to bring that here. Look, can you join me real quick here for a minute and get into my head and see from my point of view, okay? Look how slick this looks. It's plain, not crowded. It has this simulation in the center that you can grab, I don't know, cables like that, and then you can pull it out and put it here like so, and then you see that you can, this is for building some electrical components or something like that, right? And then see how you can move stuff around. It's very free, it's very fluid. So why don't we create the app and we want it to look like this? Deal. So here's how easy. I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I already had a screenshot of this. So you see that? I'm going to delete this screenshot. I'm going to do a new one. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab the UI completely like so, and I'm going to take a picture, right? I'm going to go ahead and copy the picture and give it to Codex. I'm going to go here. I'm going to paste it like so. Or you can save it and then hover the mouse over the file and right click and choose copy as path, and then paste it there. It's going to paste the entire location of the file, but this works too. And here is what I told Codex. Here is the picture, but here is the fancy part. I'm going to bring the PRD, but I'm going to bring a beefy PRD, okay? I created an application myself, and we're going to what I started the conversation with. I am the best test subject. I created this application to help me eliminate many friction points. This is Breadstick. Hopefully soon I'm going to be launching it, but it's going to be very different. It's probably going to be like a premium access to my school community, which is coming pretty soon. The rest is going to be free. And I'm going to teach you from scratch how to make something like this. This is very proud of it. It's called Breadstick, and it's an application that creates UGC content. It creates carousels. It communicates with my Meta glasses, and I ask from the glasses, I ask to it, send me a script of a talking head video. Remember, now is the time for you to create a personal brand of anything. It doesn't have to be AI. Create a personal brand and start talking. If it's something that you can talk for 5 hours without shutting the hell up, you have yourself a niche. Go ahead and start using technology to help you liberate, to freedom, to start pumping out content. Okay, so that's why I created this. This is Breadstick, and Breadstick has the 6 lenses. This is like an N8N, but it's dynamic. I can rewire, I can grab nodes from here, all of these nodes, and then rewire them and wire them again, wire them differently, and the loop never breaks because it's dynamic, it's different, and it's not like N8N. N8N is, you trigger the workflow goes from start to end, and then you get what you needed, the automation or whatever else. This is different. This is agentic. It communicates with agents because I made it CLI accessible. Anyway, let's go back to the PRD. We got the lenses. We got the market lens, problems lens, user lens, vision lens, boundary lens, and the last one, build lens. So I have a template that is down in the comments that is going to help you follow this lens situation. But I'm going to do this from scratch for you. Market lens. Let me bring you real quick the explanation of the lenses. Put it here real quick. All right, lenses and prompts. And this is going to be available for you in the comments. Look what I see when I talk about the lenses. Problem lens, the pain and the evidence it hurts. Market lens, the sentiment, demand signals, competitive landscape. User lens, who specifically is for, their context, their behavior, the vision lens, the big idea, desired experience. The build lens, functional specs, technical constraints, and boundary lens, the non-goals, the risks, and the open questions. So we're going to, Breadstick already is primed for whatever it is that you write in these fields. When you click on it and enhance, it's going to use that scaffolding and create a lens for you. But since time is of the essence and I don't want to waste your time, I'm going to go ahead immediately and try to build this real quick. What I do is I'm going to jump ahead and have the PRD ready because I already generated it using this. After I input all the lenses and I use the prompt that I provided to you in the link, with that prompt and the lenses, it gives you a PRD, a very, very beefy one. So I'm going to go ahead and go back there, Breadstick, and I'm going to bring the PRD. So here is the PRD file, and here's the image, and here is my message. Let's go ahead and Usually I give it full access, but I advise you not to do that. Just leave it on auto review. And in the beginning, I'm just going to go and put here, let's put it on high. Okay. And go ahead and click enter and watch the sparks flow. Now we're going to see what Codex has for us. So while this keeps building, I'm going to, because I kind of skipped on the whole lenses thing, and I want you to feel comfortable that you can build this on your own and not just something that I glanced. So I forgot to put that little pet in there. This little pet is so cute. See, it's building, and you can tell here how it has like a prototype. Not exactly 100% of the website that I told it to clone. In most of the time, for me, that's okay, because as long as I have a working prototype that it works, the UI I can fix later. By the way, guys, if you're not sure how to build a PRD yourself, bring the file that I gave you in the comments, bring it to ChatGPT or Claude or even Codex or Cloud Code, drop it in there and say, hey, I want to build an app and I have this system called lenses. Can you help me build this for a better PRD? And you know what? Something that always works wonders is that you tell it, ask me questions. Ask me at least 5 to 10 questions per lens or per part of how I want things. And it'll ask you questions, and the more questions you answer, the better and more accurate is your build. So I hope you implement that in your workflow, because it's actually very useful. Okay. Now, observation, it's slow today for some reason, because of the last 2 weeks, it was lightning fast, but a lot of people are showing their discontent. Is that the word I'm looking for? Against Cloud Code, because it's slow. Apparently gets dumber. I don't know. Not my words. I use Cloud Code too, and it's working for me. But everybody has a valid, concern. But my observation, Codex is slow today, surprisingly, because it's always blazing fast. My opinion, or I'm going to assume that people are flocking here now. It's been blowing up on X or Twitter that Codex is amazing, and I've seen it on social media. And here we go, 16 minutes. Not bad. Now we are going to test the first prototype. As you can see, we went from absolutely 0, and now we possibly have an application, or at least a prototype, ready. Here comes the moment of truth. And Codex itself, it's serving the application in a private local server, so that way I can open it up and try the application. And it'll give you a set of instructions of what it did, like a laundry list of what it did. And if you want, you can read it, you can examine all of this, but let's go ahead and open the application. And look at this. So Yankee and stuff. But you can open it here right on Codex, but you can also open it in the website. Let me open it here in Codex. So what are we looking at? Doesn't really look like the website I gave it, because it was a still picture. Let's see, you can type here, let's see, paste or add a part, pre-flight, look at all this, smoke gate blocked, run check, and it only used, oh my goodness, 1% only of their usage. That's why I always encourage people, the PRD has to be massive. The PRD has to be beefy, because the better and bigger it is, the model will know what to do and doesn't have to be burning tokens or burning your usage limits. So let's take a look. We got, what is this? It has a bunch of buttons here that reacts. You click here and then see. Now, this is not a working prototype at all. I've not really what I had in mind, but confirm the exact parts of the bench. Assembly, power, signals, firmware, smoke gate. It's giving me a list of things I should know before I build so I'm not really happy with how it looks, so I'm going to be honest with the model. I'm going to say, okay, close but no cigar. My idea is to have an interactive workbench in 3D that you can drag the parts from the left and install them on the drone. Now, let me be very clear with you. I made a boo-boo. I should have added that in the beginning. I should have told them, hey, this is the clone. I want to grab the parts from the left panel and put them on the drone. My bad, but at least you can see that how this stuff can work. Be specific, unlike me. Now, let's see, what is it? Add build. I clicked here on add build, and what does it do? Nothing. It's telling me the parts when I click on it. What is all this up here? These are like instructions on the right side. These are the faces, a bunch of check marks here, but it's not really giving me, although, let me be clear with you, usually the first layer is just a working prototype, and from there you start building up. So again, I said close no cigar. My idea is to have an interactive workbench in the 3D that you can drag the parts from the left and install them on the drone. And then let's see, so let's go ahead and build that type of UI before we proceed any further. And let's see what, let's put it on extra high and go ahead what it has to say. You click here, FC target, it highlights this. It says, I'll rework prototype around a real 3D workbench instead of the 2D diagram. I'm going to keep the PRD safety compatibility surface, but make the core flow the draggable parts from the left into install slots on the drone. And it's not really a big deal because, as you saw, it only consumed like 1% of the users. So it's using the 3JS path for the workbench. Okay, my friends, here we are. This time it took 25 minutes, but it's all my fault. I was about to scrap the video and start again and like, you idiot. But you know what? This is good because that way you don't do it. Please don't do it. Be more specific. The PRD can be big thing, but be specific of what you want. I should have said when I gave it the screenshot, I want this to happen. Now, I'm going to close the video. Thank you if you made it this far for watching. Here is what I would do after you have a prototype. Look at this. Now I have the board here. You can zoom out, zoom in, scroll. And now let's say, oh, you can grab it. Look at this. Yes, this is what I wanted. You can grab the part from here, put it on. Look at this, how cool. The motors. See that? So, okay, moral of the story. From plain English, you saw me from nothing. Look what we ended up after one session of 16 minutes and another session of 25. That could have been avoided if I wasn't so silly. And this is what I would do after this. I asked Codex myself one day, I said, teach me how to be a badass builder. And he said, very simple, do this. I have it here in the Excalibur. It told me, you want to be good at this? Build like this. Have a North Star. Let me use the fancy laser pointer. Have a North Star. Have a North Star. Your objective. What is the current state of the app? What is it that's happening currently? Where did you leave the last time? One slice. Layers, like I said, building layers. Then constraints. What is causing the app to not look like you want it? What is causing the app to not function the way you want it? Fix all that. And then before you have to have a proof of done, a proof that that layer that you just built is working. Commit, push, reset, and start again. Look, and after this build, we ended up spending only, let me see, where's the limit? One more, like 2%. It took me 2% of my rates of my usage of today to build all this from scratch. And from here, what you're going to do is you're going to write down in a note, like, I don't like how this looks. I don't like how that feels. And then you're going to, and you can even ask it, say, give me a plan now, step by step for me to follow and get this app to shippable, to a state that it can be shipped. Thank you so much that you made it this far. And if the signal is strong and I see people that responding to this and like it and you want more, we can continue this, or I can build more stuff or automations, whatever. So drop a comment. Let me know if you have better ways to do this, or if you learned something and if you want more. I'll be very, very happy to teach you completely for free to use this technology. Until the next one.